Always great to see WDBJ 7 involved in the high school sports world. They've been involved for many, many moons. Travis Wells, Karen Loftus, Carl Deffenbaugh do a great job over there. Carl joined me on the Sports Buffet podcast to talk some spring sports championships. They happen tomorrow at Radford and on Saturday. Here's Carl Deffenbaugh, WDBJ 7 on the Sports Buffet podcast.
Always love having newcomers on the Sports Buffet podcast. Don't know what's taken me so long for Carl Deffenbaugh. He's a sports anchor at Channel 7, helping keep Travis Wells behaved, and that's a full-time job in itself. But Carl also gets out and covers some high school sports. And Carl, it could be a very interesting weekend in Radford, especially on the soccer front. Blacksburg and JF, they're sending boys and girls there.
Yeah, we could get some pretty titanic matchups in the finals if things go that way. Blacksburg, of course, in boys soccer has been such a dominant program, 11 state titles. They lost in the final, though, to Jefferson Forest last year. Both teams are off to great starts this year and could see each other in the championship game.
How much do you think, at this point, for any team, experience counts when you've been to Radford and everything before?
Well, I think it definitely matters to these teams, especially just the whole weekend is a little different setup than playing at your home field or traveling to another school. So these teams that have been there before, that are used to going there year in, year out, it certainly helps.
And it'll be a defending champion also coming back on the softball diamond with Bath County. Everything I read says the Bath County team is very, very tough to beat. Talk a little bit about what you know about Bath County, their softball team heading to Radford.
Well, basically starts and finishes with Jalen Ford, the left-handed pitcher for Bath County. The Chargers have been fantastic this year. They're the defending champs and hope to ride that left arm of Ford again. She's going to JMU next year, and they should be pretty tough to beat this time around.
And, you know, Bath County, I've seen them before because they've been to state basketball tournaments in years past. Again, kind of the same question. Even if it's not your same sport, getting to a situation where you're Final 8, Final 4, how much experience do you think can carry over from one sport to another?
Well, I think in this one specifically on the softball diamond, just the fact that Ford is such a dominant pitcher, she has such confidence in the circle, and that the team knows they only have to score maybe a run or two, and they'll be in a good position to win the ball game, and that's got to make you feel good going into the weekend.
You know, you talk about pitching, and I'm going to carry this for softball and baseball, as Cave Spring and Brookville could also meet up with each other this weekend. You know, dimensions can affect hitters, so forth and so on, but it seems to me that the pitchers, whether it's on that circle or on that mound, that's where they take control, and they don't need to really worry about the dimensions as much as the hitters do.
Yeah, and maybe softball a little bit more so than baseball. I feel like in softball it's sort of like NHL hockey, playoff hockey, where you can just ride that hot goalie all the way to a title. Softball, if you have that ace pitcher, they can really lock down staff. The Cave Spring and Brookville matchups on the baseball diamond should be pretty good. Cave Spring facing Powhatan in the semifinals, and Brookville has Grafton.
Do you think divisional play has really kind of given teams more confidence? Because, you know, Cave Spring now is going to be in their third state semifinal this year, or third regional final at least, because I know the football team went deep. But, you know, some of these teams who wouldn't have gone years past without the playoffs, but you got to think the more kids get to play, like we've said, the more confidence grows and grows.
Yeah, and it's sort of a two-edged sword. On the one hand, it seems like a lot more teams are making it nowadays, and maybe it doesn't mean quite as much to make those early rounds of the playoffs, but it is true that the teams that do go the farthest then have played so many extra games over the years that they're a little bit more used to everything.
What do you know about Cave Spring baseball?
Well, they're a good start. They're 18-8 so far. They took down Jefferson Forest 8-6 on Tuesday. We were out at that game, and they seem like a solid team. They've got some nice contributions both up and down the lineup and then on the mound as well.
How tough is it to be a sports reporter at WDBJ 7 in the spring, just because you got so much going on with the high schools?
Well, it keeps us on our toes for sure, and this is my first spring season sort of getting used to everything, so we do cover a lot of different teams, but we try to get out to as many of the different games as possible, and at this time of the year with the championships ready to get crowned is the most fun for sure.
Absolutely doing a great job down there. You talk about softball with the momentum to where you can really ride one person. What are some other things where right now momentum could help out people? Maybe the average person wouldn't think about in terms of certain positions or just certain sports where you think momentum can play a big role.
Well, if you're talking about either baseball or softball, I think a good defense, obviously, this time around, this time of the year, is pretty helpful, just knowing that you're not going to give away any runs. These games get so close, and it can come down to a play here or a play there. So if you have a solid defense behind that starting pitcher, you know you're not going to give up any cheap runs, and you should be in every ball game.
Brookville and Grafton will get underway on Friday. That game is a 10 a.m. start time. Talk about, in terms of, just the atmosphere at Radford, how much you think things can change in terms of, start times are a little weird, and I know Brookville and Grafton and Cave Spring in those state semifinals, they'll play at Calfee on Friday, but then they'll have to turn around and go to Radford on Saturday. Just talk about the differences in terms of how you think maybe the teams could handle them this weekend.
Well, that is definitely a little bit odd about this weekend, is that you play those back-to-back games. You sort of have to rearrange your pitching staff a little bit and may not have the same arms ready in the bullpen, per se, game in and game out with those back-to-back. But it should be, at this time, they're going to throw out whoever they have and just whoever's got the hot hand.
And I'm taking it that the Channel 7 sports staff probably is not a big fan of the 10 a.m. starts either, because you guys normally have late nights, and I don't think 10 a.m. is right up your guys' alley either. Am I speaking out of turn?
It does make for a little bit long day when we're up for the 11 o'clock show, and then usually up an hour or two after that, getting everything ready, planning for the next day. But we're happy to do it this time of year. And I don't know if you check the weather; it's going to be pretty scorching out there this weekend.
Well, Carl, believe me, I've been to Radford in years past, and I'd rather take scorching over the rain, because rain. It just seems like it seems like you could take three things for granted. Three things for sure, I should say: death, taxes, and rain at the Spring Jubilee. But hopefully we won't see that. And Carl, here's the thing: even though spring is wrapping up this weekend, we'll be ready to talk high school football. It seems like in about 2 weeks, because football will be here before we know it.
We were just looking up some of that stuff, and with the colleges as well. I can't believe how soon that's going to be here.
Well, Carl, this is your first time, but won't be your last time on the Sports Buffet, I hope. Thanks for your time, and best of luck getting everything covered this weekend like you guys do down there at Channel 7.
Absolutely. We'll have highlights, like you said, on Friday and Saturday nights from all the action down at Radford.
Carl, I appreciate your time. Best of luck with everything this weekend.
Thank you very much.